I hate to put a damper on your little party, but have you guys thought about what happens to the kids who use this? Have you seen what it does to them?
Who cares?
I care, Jackson.
Hey, my name ain't Jackson. You a fucking social worker or something?
Nah, Jackson. I ain't a social worker. But I'm the next best thing. I'm a cop.
Hey, man, hey. That's a good one. You're okay. Hell, you can hang with us anytime, right, guys? A fucking cop.
Nah, just a plain old cop. Fucking's got nothing to do with it, really. I am. Look, here's my badge, and I'm wearing a wire.
Damn it! He's doing it again, Sarge.
Guys, I'm not gonna be needing you after all. I can handle these assholes by myself.
Welcome back to another episode of the Jean Pod Van Damme Cast. It is Jeff and John in studio, and we are taking on 1990s king of the Kickboxers, this rated R 1 hour and 39-minute action crime sport film where a cop goes undercover in Thailand to avenge his brother's death in this martial arts film.
Oh, man. That description really says it all.
Yep. Yeah.
All you have to mention is that Billy Blanks is involved, and that's
that's it.
That's
man.
it. See you next week.
Yeah. So this is directed by Lucas Lowe, returning roles
his
here,
triumphant
man.
return.
And the writers, Keith Strandberg, C. Yuen Ing, also created the original story. I didn't know that there a story on this. Like, is there a legitimate story?
I don't know.
I hope so.
I think it started out as a Kickboxer fan fiction, and
yes, honestly, yes, you're totally right. It does. Okay, and once again, why not have a guy in this series be recasted as someone totally different than the two other roles that he played?
It's not like it would confuse the audience of the multitude of fans of this anthology series.
Yep, Lauren Eveden comes back, and he's Jack Donahue this time. So, all right, I know we did his filmography last time. He's only has 29 films to his name. I don't think he's ever been in a film with Van Damme. Let me make sure.
He mentions Van Damme.
He does mention Van. I popped for that, man. In this. Oh yeah, I remember us popping. He was in Thunder in Paradise as Rock for 2 episodes. Gosh, there's so many like podcast ideas that come off of this.
I know.
Thanks to this Jean Pod Van Damme
I would
cast.
very much like to do a episode by episode review of Thunder in Paradise.
Oh God, yes. That would be a great like Van Damme cast and Excellent Wrestling fan crossover.
Definitely.
Right there. I gotta get Damon.
Hell yeah.
Definitely get into it. Oh man. So yeah, no, Lauren has never had any other any roles with Van Damme in it, and that's kind of sad.
Yeah, I think that they'd make beautiful music together.
Yeah, man, maybe one day.
It's never too late.
Richard Jackal plays Captain O'Day, who he was in The Dirty Dozen as Sergeant Bowren.
Wow, no kidding.
Starman as George Fox, Airplane 2 as the Controller number 2.
Holy shit, what
That's
a
awesome.
filmography.
Yeah, dude, 192 credits to his name.
Damn.
He was in Baywatch as Ben Edwards for 28 episodes.
That also reconnects back to Hulk Hogan.
Yeah,
then.
dude. Delta Force 2, he was John Page, the DEA agent. He was in Baywatch Panic at Malibu Pier as Al Gibson, the movie. Ghetto Blaster as Mike Henry. Super Carrier, the TV series, as Master Chief Sam Rivers. Murder, She Wrote.
Yes.
That's what we really need to do a podcast on.
Oh, man.
Murder, She Wrote. Black Moon Rising, and The Dirty Dozen, Next Mission. The Fix. Oh, gosh, he has a ton. The Love Boat. All right, I'm done
From
with
Super
that, man.
Carrier to Love Boat.
Yep. Then when there was Don Stroud who played Anderson, which made like he was like, oh hey, he was like the Interpol agent dude.
Yeah.
And basically anytime that Lauren like met with him, he's like, fuck off.
Yeah.
Oh, he was in Django Unchained as
wow.
Sheriff Bill Sharp. License to Kill as Heller.
I wonder
the
if
James Bond film. The Amityville horror movie, Father Bolin.
the original or the remake.
Yeah, the original.
Wow.
Yeah. Wow, he's still doing stuff now.
I wonder if he got that role in Django Unchained because of Quentin Tarantino watching No Retreat, No Surrender 4.
I seriously
It's entirely
hope.
possible.
I seriously hope. Oh, he was in a movie called Little Bigfoot from 1997, which you have got to definitely look at this the cover for Little Bigfoot.
Is that Steven Dorff?
Oh gosh, Ross Malinger. Oh man,
When are we doing a podcast for Little Bigfoot?
we seriously, I'm gonna listen to all these all these episodes because I swear there's a handful where we say when we're gonna do this.
We have had some really good ideas.
There's a tie up here. I knew this kid looked familiar. Ross Malinger was in Sudden Death.
No shit.
He was Van Damme's son.
No
I told him,
shit.
I didn't move, Dad. I listened to you.
I knew that kid looked familiar. He was a dick in that movie.
He was a little shit.
Yeah.
That's what he was. Okay, what a connection, man. 6 Degrees of Van Damme.
Yep, back at it.
We're back at it. And here's the one that really, there's a couple. Billy Blanks plays Khan.
The Tybo master himself.
Yep. Besides Tybo, you might know him as the instructor in Kiss the Girls. And Jack and Jill as Billy Blanks.
And about 500,000 cheesy martial arts flicks.
Yep. The Last Boy Scout as Billy Cole. Yeah. And then a bunch of different martial arts
that you
flicks.
probably saw on TNT in the 90s if you lived in the United States.
Yep, definitely. Oh, ER as kickboxing instructor. Sabrina the Teenage Witch as Billy Blanks. Sunset Beach as Billy. The Parenthood as Trainer. Muppets Tonight as the Dancing Muppet.
He was a Muppet?
No way, he was a Muppet. That's awesome.
Wow. The cover photo of him kind of looks like a Muppet because it's like super high
they
contrast.
Really,
He's like screaming.
Really, yeah, dude. The cover photo of him.
It looked like,
really.
it's really fucking scary looking.
Yeah, man. Sherry Rose played Molly, the love interest. She was in Me and Will as Jane, The Flash as Young Belle, Black Scorpion as Professor
Here we go.
Ursula. Oh, man. Black Scorpion 2 Aftershock. I'm sorry. Oh, that's cool. And I'm trying to find... Oh, Prang or Prong, depending on who said his name. Was played by Keith Cook. He was in Mortal Kombat as Reptile.
Holy shit.
And Mortal Kombat Annihilation as Sub-Zero.
Wow. That was like my favorite fight scene in the first Mortal Kombat was the Reptile
dude.
Liu Kang fight.
Yeah, man. That's pretty awesome. Okay, I think that's enough on the cast. We spent a decent
It's been about
portion.
2 hours.
The Jean Pod Van Damme cast, where John just can never not talk about it.
Well, it's just so interesting.
Yeah, then it really is. So we open up in Bangkok, June 1981. We have to know that it's June. There's a Muay Thai match going on, but that's not Tong Po. It is definitely like Kickboxer with his little brother and everything. It is totally paralleled, except some dudes try to jump his brother while they are riding in some little cart back to whatever they were going, probably, to go celebrate with the champ.
Mm-hmm. At a brothel.
At a brothel, exactly. Exactly. She doesn't want my belt. She wants me. Or wait, no, she doesn't want my money. She wants to make it with the champ. That's how that goes, right? All of a sudden, Khan comes out of nowhere saying, Americans can never be champion. You shouldn't have won the fight tonight, and you won't win this one. Okay, well, we have to have some backstory. He was supposed to throw the fight, but he was like, that guy was too much of a wimp to throw the fight. And okay. And, I mean, this dude is throwing shots. Khan's just wasting them. They fight, and he kills him. Then beats the shit out of the little brother, and he's like, I'm going to make you remember me.
He used his patented double kick,
yeah,
ear boxing.
Ear boxing, yeah, exactly. You're totally right. He ear boxed him with his feet, and then
did like a standing drop kick
into his chest.
And then he crossed his eyes when he died.
Yep. He was bloodied after that too, man.
Well, it was a nasty ear boxing.
Yeah, it was.
Both feet simultaneous,
both ears bled out too, man. And he also rips the belt in half, like throws it in the fire. he's laying waste, dude.
Yeah.
He like comes out of nowhere first with a gun, like an assault weapon. He's like,
then he just doesn't need it.
Yep, he doesn't need it, and then just kills him with his bare hands.
While grimacing the entire time horrifically.
Oh, man. So now we're in March 1991, New York. No clue why they actually had to put the month in there. Like, they're like, oh, hey, do you know what?
I mean, you don't really get a full scope of how much time has passed if you don't know what month.
You're totally right. I really like to try to do the math between June 1981, and it's not exactly 10 years have passed. So... Next up, we have an undercover police van. The guy is going into a warehouse with a briefcase. There's a slimy businessman sat at the table who has a sweet, sweet mullet. He looks like a mix between Owen Hart and... there's someone else that I was thinking of. I can't remember who it
definitely. Was. I got like really good Color Me Bad vibes coming from...
Yes! Yes. Oh, dude, I loved his mullet.
I know.
You show me yours and I'll show you mine. So he opens up the briefcase. It's a bunch of cocaine. He opens up his. A bunch of money.
Yep.
It's like, I think you shortchanged me. And then he pulls the gun on the undercover cop. And he's like, I think I'll keep both. It's like, I'm not a social worker. I'm the next best thing. A cop. And then everyone starts laughing. He's, that's a good one. We should do business more often. He's like, here's my badge. Here's my wire. And then he talks in the microphone.
I'm not gonna.
I can handle these assholes by myself. Rips the wire off them. They're like, oh no, Jake, not again.
You're the worst undercover cop ever.
Oh yeah, dude. Yeah. And then he's fighting these guys and he's laughing. There's no fights. Yeah. They all know kickboxing too. They all know kickboxing.
And only one of them had a gun.
Yeah. Absolutely amazing. Then the SWAT runs into the wrong warehouse.
Meanwhile, he's fucking holding a
takes
space heater.
Yeah, a space heater on the dude's like face and neck, and he's like, ah!
Does that hurt?
Yeah.
Good.
Good.
Holy shit.
And boy, is the captain angry. Where the hell was your weapon, Jake? He didn't even bring a gun with him. And then he's like, Interpol decided to visit me randomly, and they want someone on this job, and he suggested it. I'm not going to Thailand! He doesn't want to go. The captain's like, what the fuck is wrong with you? He's like, study the tapes! He's like, I'll study the tapes, but I'm not going! And he puts the gun away in his drawer after the captain gives it to him. And like, for a cop, he looks like he makes good money.
Yeah.
Because like he's in that house, and he's got the nice fireplace going. Mm-hmm. He's got a VCR.
Yeah, man.
He puts the tape in, and right away, it's No Retreat, No Surrender 3.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes,
like,
if you're paying attention.
Like, what the hell is this shit? and then he like fast forwards it till he gets to Khan.
A little self-deprecation and fourth wall breaking there.
Yep, definitely. Then they show the face of Khan, and it's like, dun, dun, dun. He connects the dots.
It's literally just the footage from the movie earlier, too.
Yeah, seriously, from 10 minutes ago, it is the beginning scenes. And we see that Jake was the little brother. Now he wants to go to Thailand. After the cop calls him, he's like, listen, I feel for you. So I put another guy. He's like, no, I'm going to Thailand. And it's like,
he's like hangs up.
Yeah, he's like still talking to him. Yeah, you know what? I always treat my supervisors like that too.
I mean, he gets results, all right.
He does. Now he's in Thailand.
He's the best damn worst undercover cop ever.
No, dude, yeah. If I want a really terrible undercover cop, that's my guy, Jake. So he's in Thailand. He meets up with Anderson. And they're talking at a restaurant about all what's going on. Then he says, let me do my job. Just stay the fuck away from me. Basically, every guy that you've had on your idea of plans gets killed. So leave me alone and let me do things my way. And so then we get like a film within a film.
Yes.
All of a sudden we see these guys, these greasy American dudes filming a movie. There's a martial artist trying to be the next big star. And he's like, that guy really cut me when the guys are coming in. And he like stabs him with the knife. Yeah, keep going with it. Keep going. And he gets cut in the face this time. And he's really fighting these dudes. And then they start shooting at him. He's like, oh shit. Jumps on the car. Tries to put the tarp over him like that's going to save him from the gunshots. Reveals that there's a dead
prostitute?
Yeah, I didn't know if that was supposed to be a prostitute
yeah.
or sex slave or something naked.
Yeah.
She's covered in blood. He screams.
Then covers her back up.
Covers her back up. Khan comes out, then smashes his face into it, and he's just a bloody mess and dies. But the best part, this is absolutely gruesome. It's almost like they were like, hey, let's look at Cyborg and let's one up it. He took the fish hook on the pole, puts it in the guy's underneath his jaw, like he is a legitimate fish being put up on a scale, and like he raises him in the air and he dies. Like, oh, it was gross. So I'll give him that. I love that.
Yeah.
The naked woman for no reason is kind of weird.
Yeah,
okay, whatever.
I was a little off put by that, but all right.
I was kind of thinking, I was like, how do you, like, because this had to be on TV, I'm sure, a TBS or TNT or something.
How do you, I wonder if they filmed an alternate scene or something.
I was just going to say, did you just do an extreme close-up on the guy's face?
Or just blur it out.
Or blur it out, you know.
Whatever's cheapest is what I'm assuming.
Yeah, or just cut that part, like immediately just cut it.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, no, the next thing that we show is just him getting his face punched in by Khan.
This is when you start to realize that the movie's plot
Yeah.
it does not exist in any way, shape, or form.
This is when you just go, oh, it's one of those movies. Okay.
If you thought the plots were a little unrealistic in the last three,
in the last three of them,
No Retreat, No Surrenders.
Yeah. And they're like, hey, we're definitely gonna take this to the extreme. Next scene, we're at a Muay Thai training camp. They're kicking ropes wrapped around poles. Jake is there wearing a jean vest with the USA patch on the back. It's a small little patch. It's very, very interesting, very 90s, late 80s, early 90s.
Hell yeah.
He wants to see what real kickboxing is like, being very cocky. What an asshole. Comes to this camp, fights one guy, easily handles him. Two guys come in, beats them up. And he's just like, who wants me next? You, old man? It's like, what a dick.
Yeah.
Dude. They tell him to leave. One dude is just staring at him. And he looked really familiar. I meant to look him up in the
and
the
he was
credits.
like noticeably bigger than all the other
Yeah,
guys,
exactly.
too.
Yeah. So up next, we're at some event, and we're watching some music go on, and the big fat guy, the baddie Western dude, has women around him, and Khan, they're all watching, and then a room full of white women come in, and they're like, you get to pick one for doing such a great job. And he picks Molly. And she goes, whatever happened to consenting adults? You have no choice.
Yeah.
Oh, God, man. So they're in the room. He's like starting to have his way with her. And she's like, wait, I got to wash first. He's like, you are not Thai. How do you know this custom? He's like, I don't think that's necessarily a custom.
Yeah.
So he tells her to come out after a while. The water's running. She pulls a Frank Dukes on him.
Yeah, I was just going to say.
Walks in, and he's like, find her and bring her to me. And then all these, low-end totem pole bad guys go chasing after her. She's running the streets. Jake's having a beer. Guy's chasing after him. He acts like he's drunk, gets up, and then takes a dude out. They corner her. She's crying. He comes up from behind. He's like, hey, I want my cut, too. Then he beats the shit out of the guys. Grabs one dude by the nuts. I mean, that would knock me out, too.
Yeah.
A guy pulls a knife. He's like, oh, no, a knife. I surrender. And then takes him out. And he goes, hi, my name's Jake. Do you come here often? I majored in sociology and doing a study in human nature.
That was really good.
Dear Lord, man. He's talking to her. He's trying to find someone. He tells her an old friend. It's like, whatever. It's just a crossover scene to get the love interest going between the two of them. Someone is following Jake. He comes up from behind him and tackles him. It was the one guy from the Muay Thai camp. The guy says he'll show Jake some real kickboxing if he wants to fight the Khan guy. And the dude ends up kicking his ass.
Yeah.
And he's like, you're no match for him. He will destroy you. And he tells Jake of a guy that can train him that lives up the river.
Yeah, and then
dude's a hermit.
Like, he hands his ass to him, says he's not even that good of a kickboxer.
Yeah.
And then, like, he doesn't show up again.
Mm-hmm. He's done.
Yeah.
He's done. He's not in it anymore. He doesn't come to help. He doesn't do anything.
I'm wondering if he's, like, some sort of big star that they give a cameo in, like, East Asia or something?
Maybe.
Southeast Asia? Like...
Maybe. It's like I said, his face looked very familiar. I was like, I know we have seen this dude in something before. Which now I'm probably going to look it up. I'm going to spend 5 minutes going through.
Let's see. He was on The Love Boat.
The plane. That's who it was.
That's Tattoo.
Tattoo, yep. I had no clue.
They spent all their budget for The Love Boat.
What was Paradise Island? Was
Fantasy
that it?
Island.
Fantasy
yeah.
Island. Thank
They
you.
used their budget to shrink him down digitally.
Yeah. Didn't they do a crossover? Didn't Love Boat and
If
Fantasy
not,
Island?
then it would have been a
I think
huge
they
wasted
did.
opportunity.
I know, right? Seriously. And so now he goes up the river, finds a guy wasted drinking a bottle of whatever with a chimpanzee sitting next to him.
They keep calling it a monkey.
A monkey. That's if you know me, that is my one pet peeve, calling chimpanzees monkeys.
Get your primatology straight.
Fucking A, man. Jake asks about the guy. Meanwhile, the chimp steals his passport. You're praying? One of Thailand's greatest fighters? And next up, we just see the guys watching the snuff film that they just made. And they're all laughing. They want to do something even crazier. Next, we see Jake come to Prong Prang's place. Guys are beating him up. Prang sees Jake, and he's starting to get hurt. So then he stops and just beats the guys up, and they all run away. He's like, I came in here to help you, and you could have easily taken those guys out. He's like, I wanted to see what kind of fighter you were. Okay. And he came back looking for his passport. He's like, my monkey took your passport. And I was like, this movie has lost all credibility with me.
That's it? This movie's unrealistic? Clearly has no tail?
No, that's right. He's flashing back to the fight with the bad guy. He does that crazy double kick moves. Prong is basically the only one that almost beat Khan, but he got in his own head and lost.
Yeah, or something.
Yeah, something weird. Jake tells his story about Khan and his brother. The next day they're training. He's kicking at a coconut tree. Not the usual shin kick, but the bottom of his foot kick.
Yeah.
He's like, pain doesn't exist. And then uses his knee to break a coconut after Jake questions him. Your weakest point is your legs. Prong will help you. And then we have the splits like Bloodsport.
Yep.
He has his hands tied up together, all the way up in a pulley in a tree.
Yeah.
Has his legs spread with sandbags.
Yeah,
underneath.
but it was weird, the way the weights wouldn't affect.
Yeah,
it wouldn't force him to do the splits or anything.
Yeah, I know, man. Yeah, really weird.
It was really more of a it was like some sort of mental puzzle. That was anything.
Yeah,
I was
man.
Trying to figure out what it was supposed to do.
Yeah. There was some sweet fight training in this.
Yeah,
a lot of cool. At first, he had his forearms and his stomach and his shins all covered up with something, and then he gets attacked by logs, floating logs. We get some kickboxer training at the old ruins again.
Mm-hmm.
He's doing the splits, meditating, but he's pissed, and he's like, nothing's happening. It's like, oh, are we going to see the spirits of the Thai warriors come out again, like in Kickboxer? I don't know. He gets angry and quits the training. Then later on comes back and apologizes to Prong for basically making fun of him for losing to Khan. And he's like, I'll do anything. And he's like, anything? And he gives him a look. He's like, anything you think is necessary. That's a good that's a good follow-up, my friend.
Good caveat there.
This movie could have totally went some other way.
Yeah, that's you got to be careful
that.
how you phrase things in Southeast Asia when you're making a deal.
Then we probably would have got the porno version of this after. We get some more splits. Molly is spotted by some dudes. She starts running away. She gets onto a train track with a bridge. She knocks a dude in the nuts and hits him over with the purse. He falls into the water. The other one's blocked by a train, so he can't get to her. She shows up at the ruins, doesn't even really tell him about what just happened. I totally forgot that it was just like, oh, that's it.
Yeah, well,
She talks with Prong, and he's basically kind of blocking her from seeing Jake at first, and then he's like, oh, you'll surprise him. So Jake's in basically a pot. It looks like he's cooking himself. He's sitting in a weird hot tub. She comes up, and then she gets nude and joins him. We get some more training montage, this time with music. He's not wearing the bandages this time, getting hit by the poles and whatnot. He's taking on those floating logs, kicking ass. They are now at a fighting event. One of the slime balls is there. An executive producer, I guess, of the snuff films? Prong tells him about the guy. Guy calls Jake out. He gets onto the mat. He basically breaks the one fighter's leg and then takes him out. And then there's a montage of fight. He takes another dude out, then another, and then the slime ball talks to him. And he follows the slime ball, giving a thumbs up to Prong. He's like, $20,000 US to act? Oh man, do I need to? What did he say? Did I need to do an audition or something?
Yeah.
He's like, no, it's great. And then he mentions Van Damme.
Yeah,
Van Damme gets a mention in here.
Yeah,
who am I working with? Van Damme, Jackie Chan,
yeah,
Billy Blanks. He tells Jake to report to an address tomorrow morning. Jake is now out to eat with Molly when Anderson pops up again. And then his captain shows up. You crossed the line, Jake. I'm pulling you out. You can't. I'm already in. He's like, he's listening. I'm seething. I loved it. The captain. Then Jake tells them the plan, and they're like, oh, okay. Jake, I'll take what I can get from you. Oh, yeah, we get some awkward kissing, and then it cuts to morning. I thought we were going to get a sex scene there, but it was like, that's not in the budget. Man, was that some awkward... That was like fish kissing. It was
it was. I mean, like, these two people looked like they
had
never actually kissed anyone before.
And in their life. Like, they actually acted like they've never kissed anyone before. He leaves her thinking she's sleeping, but she's awake. Prong wants to go with Jake. He tells him, he's got to do it on his own, but watch Molly for him. And then a bunch of ninjas with guns and Khan show up at Prong's house. Next, all of a sudden, Jake is with the one slime ball in the boat, and they are entering some tribe's territory. Like, now we're getting into the cannibal exploitation films.
Yeah. Can we just call the director Eli Roth at this point?
Seriously, man. Seriously. Oh, God, I hope Eli Roth does a remake of, like, this. Whatever,
He would have a field day.
Oh, gosh, I can only imagine what it would be.
Did you ever see his Death Wish remake?
No, with Bruce Willis?
Yeah, I wanted to see that.
I didn't see that either. I didn't see Green Inferno. I wanted to see Green Inferno as well.
I'm really scared of what he could do with Green Inferno.
Yeah. So they're filming there at the tribe's territory. Jake is getting into wardrobe, and I was like, this is a pretty impressive budget for a kill film.
Yeah.
Jake puts on the dragon demon mask, fights a bunch of guys. He really hits the dude, and he's like, oh no. And they're like, no, just keep rolling. Another dude falls off into the water and, like, kind of gets impaled by one of the pikes in the water. He's like, oh, we got to stop, man. And he's like, no, it's okay. Then Khan shows up with the girl in one hand and throws a dead prong in the water. It's like, oh, man.
Yeah, poor Prong. And what about the monkey?
I know. We never found out what happened.
He just wanted his freedom.
Yeah. Maybe he got his freedom.
Maybe he stole someone else's passport.
You know what? PETA needs to do an alternative version of this film from the chimpanzee's eyes.
I would watch that.
Molly gets put into a net. Let the girl go!
Oh my goodness. He is understating the impactful emotion of that scene.
Fight and win, and you both go free. Life will be your prize. And they start fighting each other. They pull out the swords and they start fighting. Jake gets cut in the side. Khan gets cut right across the face. Scary, man.
Mm-hmm.
Then he pulls out the picture of his brother with tears in his eyes and throws it at Khan. Flashbacks to the beginning of the film once again. I know you. You are the brother. How perfect. I will send you to hell to join your brother. I've been there for 10 years. Yeah! Kid you not, that's how that went.
Yeah, that's exactly how.
They fight some more, and it's absolutely crazy stuff.
The fight scene's
hilarious because then here comes the block with the crazy kicks, and it reiterates with the reason why he was training with the logs. He blocks those logs just like he blocks these kicks, and he's like, "This is for so and so." He's like, "This is for my brother. This is for Prong. And this is for Molly. And this is for me." And takes Khan out. He's our new star. Then Khan comes from behind. He gets kicked again. He falls onto like a platform where there's a gate hanging up. The gate comes down like on the
like
Rancor.
A portcullis.
And, and Return of the Jedi, this big fat shirtless dude starts crying for some reason. I don't know why. Oh man. So meanwhile, he's stabbed by this fence. He like grabs a lever or like rope and undoes it, and Molly comes falling down. In his last trying to get the one up on Jake, Billy Blanks cannot do it because Jake saves Molly from falling to certain death. And then the tribe decides to climb the Punjabi prison match cage, and the cops show up. They actually say the cops show up, and they just blow up the place.
Yeah, fucking
they
artillery.
Do not care, man. They just fucking start shooting.
Open fire!
The place. Yeah, dude. And he's like, "Captain, how'd you find out?" He's like, "You may pull a fast one on the rookies, but I'm your captain for a reason." Then some more awkward kissing while this dude just blows a bazooka. He like brings out the bazooka, blows up the whole place. Like, all those tribes.
Yeah, no arrest, no nothing.
Thank you, Jake. We've been trying to get rid of them forever so that we can mow down this territory and make some extra money.
For IKEA.
Yeah, for an IKEA. They do more awkward kissing, hug in front of the flames, and it ends. Oh, man, and that was it.
Yeah, that was it. All right.
So, on a scale of 1 to 10 splits, I gotta ask you, what do you give this treasure trove of a movie?
Well, I mean, how do I even rank it? The acting is just, even like the third one's acting was worse than the second. The second one's acting was worse than the first. And this one really just tops them all. Like, Billy Blanks has no other facial expression than like bared teeth scowling the entire super intense, like his fists are clenched constantly.
Yeah.
Everyone is an amazing actor in this film. But at the same time, like the fight choreography is actually considerably worse than
the other ones. Yeah,
man.
Others. Yeah, which is kind of weird because you would think, especially with a guy like Billy Blanks, like
of course that was earlier in his career.
Yeah.
So yeah, I guess I'd give it a 6 because the second one had much better choreography, although this one's lines and delivery were even more over the top and more comical. But it didn't have like the actual really good fight choreography to keep the movie going for me.
Really? Oh man, we're
yeah. What are you at 9?
Not a 9, almost a 9. Man, I would give it an 8.
Yeah,
5,
damn.
There's just something about this that I don't know what. It hit me in all the certain spots. Like he grabbed me by the nuts and then knocked me out somehow. I don't know. The one-liners in this were absolutely ridiculous.
Yes.
Everything about it, just I totally was laughing so much. It just totally. It was almost like Doomsday, in a weird way. After Hard Target 2, I was like, this movie. I don't know what's going on in this movie, but I'm having a good time with it. I'm looking at this. There's this review from 2000, the year 2000. Wow. 10 out of 10. I never done this, but I thought this was pretty hilarious. I haven't read it. It's a long review, so I don't know if I'll read the whole thing. But the best fighting movie ever made. It's an absolute shame that a movie this awesome isn't even available in print anymore, considering all the other crap that is being re-released on DVD. This is from August 26, 2000. Alienator is the username, so shout outs to them. It's also a shame that this movie, along with all of its contributors, have never received any notice, with the exception of Billy Blank, and I'm being serious. Sure, this is a B movie, but how can anyone who's seen it overlook how much fun it is to watch? The King of the Kickboxers is incredibly entertaining, and that's the whole point of any movie, with or without a compelling plot and acting. Everything about this movie is awesome. The dialogue is corny and the acting is campy, but how can you complain? This just gives you something to laugh at. Most mainstream viewers will cringe at the poor acting and turn away from this movie, not even realizing that it can be funny. Those people will then miss out on the incredible fighting scenes, which are quite frequent. There isn't a single movie out there with moves as cool as the ones here. You never expect to see stuff like this anywhere, other than in your imagination. I agree with them on that. Maybe that's why I like this so much. But somehow the fighters managed to throw attacks at lightning speeds and launch multiple kicks in the midair without landing. Not even Michael Jordan gets this much hang time. All the scenes are fast-paced and beautifully coordinated with camera angles that really get you into the action. Even the limited music is excellent. I can't disagree with that.
Yeah, the whole series does have surprisingly good music.
Yeah, man. Seriously, all of it. Yeah. It is not only pleasing to listen to, but effectively helps to set the mood of the scenes. It can give you a creepy feeling at times and is best used in the final fight scene where the drum beat kicks in to get you into the mood of the action, and later as it shifts to a triumphant tone, you can't help but cheer for the good guy as he makes his comeback victory. And finally, the plot is perfect for this type of film. Simple and limited. Most of the movie is dedicated to the action scenes, while plot developments painlessly interrupt to help support the characters so you can develop feelings about them. The whole movie had the feel of a video game. It really did.
Yes.
The protagonist battles through his enemies and works his way up to Reach, who is ultimately the bad guy, and defeats him. The bad guy even has his own finishing move, an awesome one at that the good guy must look out for. This is all just like a video game. Another reason why I love this movie. This is by far the best fighting movie ever, and I've seen quite a few of them. And after serious consideration, I've concluded that this is one of the best movies ever made in any genre. Do whatever you can to see this movie. And if you're already seen this movie but hated it, do me and yourself a favor and watch it again, this time with my review in mind.
So how old were you when you wrote this review, John?
Oh, it's the year 2000. What, I was 15, I guess? Oh, man. Oh, that is absolutely... Oh, that is... Yeah, I was
Kindred
like...
spirit.
I know, I'm reading this, I'm like, I gotta email and see if we could be friends. No, that is...
It was actually from Billy Blanks.
It was Billy Blanks this whole time, trying to revive his career in the year 2000.
2000 was when Tybo was going on, right?
Yeah, it was, well, let's see. It was late 90s, usually.
Yeah.
I know we were in middle school. It was kind of big in middle school with some people. Gosh, the I wouldn't mind getting the poster of this, to be honest. If there's a poster of it.
You kidding me?
Just look at that. I mean, you're right. It's just so scary. Billy Blanks' con looks so scary, man.
I love this 2 little braids, too, with the feathers on the end.
Oh, yeah, man, yeah. Oh, I totally forgot the tagline. In the ring of death, only one man can become king. They really got away from the no retreat, no surrender forward. Like, this is only no retreat, no surrender in the fact that they were like, in some distribution areas, we'll call it that.
Yeah.
It's basically an AKA no retreat, no surrender 4. So here we go. There's a handful of trivia here. Maybe the same or a little bit less than number 3. Billy Blank's portrayal of Khan in the film has officially been mentioned by former Capcom R&D member James Goddard as the inspiration for the Street Fighter character DJ.
Yes, he does look just like him.
Who made his first appearance in Super Street Fighter 2. Wow.
No kidding.
That's crazy.
It's funny because number 2 had the inspiration for Sonya Blade in it.
Yeah, man. That's right.
Wow.
That's crazy. When Loren's character is watching the video and changes his mind about going to Thailand, he does a Sly Stallone type yell.
Some interesting trivia right there.
Yep. Lauren was told by the director to do this, and he did it approximately 4 or 5 times. Lauren hated it. He wanted to throw the video into the fire instead. Then called the captain to have a moment after the phone call to fall apart, knocking over some furniture. But the filmmakers had their mind set on the funny sounding scream and put that in the movie instead. That's what made it even better of a film. The final battle between Lauren and Billy Blanks took 2 weeks to film.
Wow.
The costumes worn by Lauren and Billy Blanks during the climactic fight in the cage have meaning. The traditional robe and mask worn by Avedon represents the higher Hindu deity Hanuman, whose accomplishments include vanquishing the demon lord Ravana, whose costume was worn by Blanks. Ah, interesting.
Oh, neat.
There's actually a little bit of story and thought process put into this.
A little mythos.
Who would have known? The character played by Bruce Fontaine exclaims, "Hey, he hit me!" after an opponent slashes him with a knife. The scene was originally written so that Fontaine would be punched, but when the knives were improvised, no one updated the dialogue or corrected Fontaine.
Well, I mean...
So did he really hit him?
Yeah.
What? Lauren's scene with Richard Jackal was shot completely independently on separate days. Neither Jackal nor Avedon knew how the other had acted it out.
Huh.
Wow.
That makes sense, because all their... when you look at it, the way it was shot.
Mm-hmm. The parts of movies that Jake watches and complains about are taken from No Retreat, No Surrender 3 Blood Brothers. The film slate, which falls to the ground following Khan's defeat, reads The King of the Kickboxers. Despite playing lovers in the film, Lauren and Sherry Rose did not get along behind the scenes, with Avedon claiming Rose badmouthed him after he told her to shut up while filming in the jungle.
It explains their amazing makeup.
Oh, I know. Yeah, they're... Sherry Rose was cast at the last minute when the actress who had previously been chosen changed her mind because of the nudity the role required. Ironically, Rose would also voice objection at the nudity, requiring her scene to be filmed very carefully so that her breast would not be visible for more than a few seconds. Little did she know that the internet would come into play and we could Google image search that screenshot if we really wanted to. According to Keith Strandberg, the murderously anti-American Khan is in fact half American. Khan's untold backstory includes a father who was an American serviceman and abandoned Khan and his Thai mother when Khan was young, sparking his feelings of hatred towards Americans.
So he's like half black, half Thai then?
I guess so.
Huh.
Yeah. Look at that. All right, moving on to quotes. Khan, I know you. You are the brother. How perfect. I will send you to hell to join your brother. Oh, I already threw my voice out on it. I've been there for 10 years. Ah! It's like a Bruce Lee movie without Bruce. I'm listening to a fucking drunk. Worthless piece of shit American. I heard that. I wanted you to. What are you doing back here in Thailand? You can help me. Teach me how to stop him. What I have to offer might not be enough. This is for Molly. This is for Prong. This is for... Oh, wait, no. This is Jake saying it.
Mhm.
This is for praying. This is for my brother. And this is for the life you stole from me, you bastard. Does that hurt, huh? Good. My methods get results. What a fucking waste of time. Let the girl go. Why you stop? If this is your idea of training, you're crazy. You want to be ready for Khan? Then keep going. Forget about it. All this shit is doing is burning what little time I have left. This is the way I learned. Yeah, and how far did that get you? What? You lost! I can't afford to lose! How many guys do you think I had to fight? How many do you want? Touch me in the night and I'll kill you. The monkey loves that kind of talk. You're no ordinary fighter. Thanks. I'll add you to my personal fan club. It's not meant to be a compliment. You've never faced a real kickboxer. And that's it. That's all. That's all for that movie. That's all for No Retreat, No Surrender 4, The King of the Kickboxers. We hope you enjoyed that.
We're eagerly awaiting the next sequel.
Yeah, definitely. Oh, man. I'm sure it's probably out there and we just don't even know it. Like, as far as we know, this is the end. This is the end of the No Retreat, No Surrender
Anthology.
Yeah, exactly.
Quadrilogy.
Yeah. I'm sure maybe if I did some digging, which I might do, see if there's any No Retreat, No Surrender 5.
Pleased if we find another one.
Yeah, seriously. Wow, this movie, it was beautiful. I love it. I'm going to see if I can find it on DVD or Blu-ray. Mwah.
With a giant poster.
You know, every time we do these shows, there's a couple things I forget. I forget to always mention the stuff to do in the beginning of this episode so that people don't go, oh, they're all done. And then click. And I'm like, no, don't forget about Amazon and patreon.com/podbros and rate us. Please don't forget. And then there's other times where I go, oh, man, I've been trying. In case you don't know, I am the owner of the Podbros Network. I've been trying to get everyone to, like, intermingle with one another a little bit better. You guys know Jeff's from Kapowcast and Flash Action Heroes. Maybe you don't know about Flash Action Heroes. I don't know if we've ever really mentioned that. Maybe once or twice.
Mm-hmm.
And I am from just a whole bunch of other shows on the network, the Accidental Wrestling Fan, and some serious ones as well. But we also have some others, and I always forget to mention them. And I'm like, man, I'm a dick, because I'm trying to encourage everyone else to. So besides those ones, besides Kapowcast and Flash Action Heroes and the Accidental Wrestling Fan, take a look at some of the other shows on the network. We got some great stuff there. There's some fun ones. There's other film review. There's Blokebusters as well. They actually do a film review. Dave's Nerd Compendium. Dave will do some reviews as well. Worst Millennials is a fun little kind of like a pop culture show. Just anything and everything that has to do with millennials and kind of the criticisms that go with it. Some of the stuff that we have tackled in our life that other generations really either they frown upon. It's definitely a not safe for work show. So if you think this one's explicit with some of the F-bombs and stuff, that one definitely don't listen while you're at work. Unless you're in a blue-collar workplace, I guess, and they're okay with it. But yeah, definitely. So there's just a few of them. Damon was on before too. So yeah. Listen to some of those. There's also Downriver Top Team, which has to do with the MMA scene and fighting in general, fighting in sports. So I think that's a good one for now. So
I think so too.
You know, good shout out to the rest of the network.
A little roundup.
Yeah, exactly. A roundup for the round eyes, right?
Is that our next podcast name?
They get us in the news, you know. All right, that wraps it up. Thank you so much, Jeff, for joining me in studio to review this beautiful treasure. I am John.
And I am Jeff.
And you have been listening to another episode of the Jean-Pod Van Dam Cast. Yeah!
This is for Greg! This is for Molly! This is for my brother! And this is for the life you stole from me, you bastard!